How's it going, guys? Shape here, and welcome to the channel. This video is going to cover how to make up to 1,000,000 gold in only 4 hours of actually doing this method. I hear all the time that most of the traditional gold farming techniques take too much time for what you get out of them, and as we approach the pre-patch to Shadowlands, most of the methods are losing gold per hour by the day since so many others are doing the exact same farms. Well, if that is how you feel, you are in luck because the methods I'm about to go over just became a whole lot easier with the shutdown of the Gallywix community. I am also going to go over another method that will get you to the 1,000,000 gold mark for just a little more of your time, but I wanted to highlight the fastest method in this video first. I will caution you guys that not everyone is going to be able to do these methods I'm about to go over in the video, but since it's late in the expansion, everyone should be geared enough to do at least one of the methods on the list. So with that said, let's hop into it and find out what those methods are. Be sure to turn on your notifications, make sure you have that bell rung, and drop a like so you don't miss any of my future content. If you have any questions, drop a comment or tweet at me. The first method I want to go over for obtaining 1,000,000 gold or more in just 4 hours of your time is going to be doing the 5 mass vision carries. These carries are currently still going for over 100,000 gold on most servers that I play on and have checked into. If you were able to do a 5 mass clear rather easily now on your character, then it might be time to start looking at offering your services to others that don't want to spend the time doing this or are leveling up alts in preparation for Shadowlands. Like I said, with the recent shutdown of the Gallywix community, these carries have become rather popular for just about everyone. Instead of having a go-to community for buyers to go, there really isn't another trusted community established yet, which makes it a perfect time to start doing any type of these carries. To take things a step further, if you can fully clear a 5 mass vision without really needing to use any of your sanity orbs, then you might also be able to do a 5 mass vision carry with all the objectives. This will increase the price you can charge for the run, and I'm seeing most of these go for 150,000 to 200,000 gold on most of the servers I play on. The way most of the 5 mass vision carries work is that the person who is being carried just dies by the final boss and waits for the person who is carrying them to get back from clearing the rest of the vision and revive them. As long as they tag the final boss, then they will receive credit for the 5 mask and receive an item level 470 piece of loot from the chest at the end of the run if it's their first of the week. Now, if you want to bring the person you are carrying along with you for the rest of the run, then you have to make sure they tag each of the end bosses in each of the different areas of the vision. It doesn't really matter if they die past that, they just have to make sure they at least hit the boss or cast some kind of ability at them. These runs are way harder than the regular 5 mass visions, and that is why they are worth a decent bit more of gold. Now, I'm sure some of you are saying that you don't have enough gear to do this on your character. Well, don't worry, because even no mass runs still sell because not everyone has hundreds of thousands of gold to spend on these carries. The no mass runs are still selling for around 50,000 gold or so from what I've seen. If you can do a 1 to 4 mask, that will also fall somewhere in between of how much gold you can make out of it. I have a friend who just runs up to 4 masks since 5 masks is a little bit much for them and they are still making a ton of gold right now. If you have a level 15 cloak, then there is almost no reason you shouldn't be able to do a full clear with carrying someone. Now, if you haven't ever tried to do these carries before, then I would recommend having a friend come in and you get some practice runs in to make sure you know what you're doing before you start selling these runs. If you don't have the gear, then there isn't really much else to do right now in game, so I would focus on getting your item level up to at least 460 so you don't struggle on these runs. The higher your gear is, the easier this is going to be to do. I would say that any class can do this without a problem, but the best classes are going to be those who can pull a large group of mobs and AoE them down quickly while still having some kind of self-healing as well. This is why I always recommend a Demon Hunter for these purposes, because it is probably the easiest class to do these carries with. I was doing these runs a few months back when the prices were a little higher and I made a couple million gold in just a weekend. Let's say the average you are selling the runs for is 125,000 gold, since on the high end you are at 150,000 and the low end is 100,000 gold. This means that if you do 8 5 mass clears and average 125,000 gold per run, then you will have 1,000,000 gold after it's all said and done. That was an average of 30 minutes per run. If you were able to do it even faster, then that could cut down on how many hours it would take you to achieve the 1,000,000 gold. I was curious about what the Gallywix band did to this because I know a lot of their members were doing these runs, so it would take some time spamming in chat usually to get anyone. It definitely felt a lot faster when I was doing these recently, so I think it has a huge market out there until another community comes along and takes that business. Even if you spend 30 minutes of just spamming trade chat to find someone to carry, that is still 100 to 150,000 gold per hour of time invested if you are clearing in that 30 minutes. This method by far is probably the highest gold per hour solo farm out there right now, and if you aren't doing it, you should definitely start if you need to make a lot of gold in a short amount of time. Now what if you were saying, hey Shape, I just can't manage to carry someone through these visions? Well, don't worry, I have another method that may be a little easier for you. This isn't going to get you the million gold in 4 hours of time, but you will still get a good amount of gold from it. We're going to stick with the carry method and head over to Freehold. This carry method is going to focus around leveling players from 110 to 120. To get those 10 levels should take you no more than an hour of your time if you're doing it correctly. Make sure the player you're carrying has heirlooms on, as this will slow down the leveling process a lot if they don't. If you found someone who doesn't have heirlooms and they still want to carry, then just charge them more because this will take a lot more of your time. I usually just post only heirlooms or something like that in chat because I don't think it's worth the extra time it takes to do those 10 levels. On average on the servers I have seen, per level is around 9,000 gold. This means for the 10 levels they need, it will be around 90,000 gold for an hour of your time. 90,000 gold per hour is still way higher than any of the other farms you can currently be doing right now, and it will be a lot easier than the 5 mass vision clears. Again, the Gallywix community not being an option now has a lot of players in need of these services to get their alts to max level and ready for the pre-patch to Shadowlands. To make sure you are sticking to that 6 minute per clear in Freehold, you're going to have to do the whole instance in about 3 to 4 pulls. This can get a little tricky if you aren't used to doing this, so again, I would practice this with a friend before you start selling them. All classes should be able to accomplish this, but again, it would be easier on those characters that do a lot of AoE damage and do some self-healing, which is why I use my Demon Hunter for these runs as well. If you want to advertise for both of these methods, then it is a good way to build a book of business per se, because if you do a good job, these players will keep coming back to you for your services. I also offered a discount to players if they did both the Freehold and the 5 mass vision carries with me, so I wouldn't have to spend so much time in trade chat trying to find more people. Some people wanted multiple characters ran through and quickly geared up, so I lucked out on not having to spend so much time in trade chat. Either of these methods will get you to that million gold in a short amount of time, but the 5 mass vision carry is definitely the fastest at just 4 hours. If you did the Freehold method, then it would take you around 10 to 11 hours to achieve the million gold. That is still extremely fast compared to any of the other gold farming methods you currently be doing right now. Well, there you have it guys, how I made over 1 million gold in just 4 short hours. I hope you guys enjoyed, and don't forget to let me know any other gold farms you're currently doing that are successful. Please drop a like if you enjoyed the video to show some love for the channel, and I'll catch you guys next time.